Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dick Peterson. I'm the Deputy Director of the United States Mint, and I'm pleased to be here today at the 2012 World's Fair of Money at the ANA show. This is all about open dialogue and Q&A back and forth, and I hope that we can have that. Before I do, let me give you some topics that you might be interested in, just a little update on what's going on at the Mint here in the summer of 2012. We have the three lines of business. We have the circulating production, we have the bullion, gold, and silver production, and we have the numismatic production for the very popular proof and uncirc sets and other numismatic coins. On the circulating side, what happened at the beginning of at the middle of 2008 and into 2009 when the economy was going down, we saw people going into their piggy banks to get the money for gasoline and groceries. All that coin went back to the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve said, our vaults are getting full, we don't need any new coin from the Mint, and they turned off the spigot from the Mint. And so our production volumes on the circulating side went down to the lowest levels we've seen since like 1959 or 60. And we were making 3.7 billion coins a year back then. This year, fiscal year to date in fiscal 12, which is October 1st to June 30th, the first 9 months of this fiscal year, we manufactured 7.4 billion circulating coins. And so that's up very nicely off the bottom that we saw in 2008, 2009, essentially double the production on the circulating side. So our circulating facilities in Denver and San Francisco, or Denver and Philadelphia here, are back to normal volumes that we're used to seeing back 2007, 2008 volumes. On the bullion side, back in 2008, 2009, what we saw in the economy was the flight to safety, that investors weren't sure whether their real estate money was safe, whether their stock assets were safe, and so they exited those markets and they poured into the precious metal markets. And so we saw gold and silver volumes go to unprecedented levels. Silver in particular went up to above 40 million units, silver 1 ounce pieces in 2011, calendar 2011. And so last year we actually moved some production of silver from West Point out to San Francisco to give West Point. West Point has so many presses and they have so much capacity to make bullion, and then there are other products that Congress legislates that we make at West Point. And so to make all the bullion that was demanded, we needed to move some production out to San Francisco. This year we're seeing that drop a little bit, the 35-40% drop in the volumes of precious metal bullion right now. On our numismatic side, we're pleased to bring to market, I don't have a little show and tell piece, but I showed it earlier, the new coin and currency set. Last year at this meeting I announced the 5-coin anniversary set, 25th anniversary set of the Silver Eagle program. This year we're announcing and going on sale today with the coin and currency set, which is a $5 bill, $5 note from our sister bureau, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, and one of our silver proofs that we made in San Francisco this year. So the numismatic business had a record year in 2011, and that was really driven by the pricing of gold and silver, that the gold and silver in the coins caused us to charge more for the coins, and so our revenues in 2011 were high. In addition to that, we brought to market in fiscal 2011 2 Silver Eagle proof coins because of the timing difference in 10 and 11. So that's the peak in 2011 that you'll see in our revenues, about 713 million or so. And this year we're seeing that track a little bit slower. We're looking at possibly 500 million in revenues this year for the full fiscal year. Other things that will interest you. The update on our research and development. Congress, as you know, passed a law at the end of 2011 that said the Mint is required to go conduct research and development on alternative coinage materials, and that we are to report back to Congress 2 years after the date of the law. So December 13th of this year, we owe Congress a report on alternative metals for our circulating coinage. We don't do this very much. The last time we changed metals in our circulating coins was back in 1965. And so here we are, we're 46, 47 years later. Back in 1965, we hired a third-party consultant to help us do the metallurgy research. And that's what we did again this time. And so we've contracted with a metallurgy research firm. They've gone out and done studies, taken the whole funnel of possibilities from the periodic table of the metals and all the alloys and all the various plated materials, and given us a smaller universe that we can go then analyze. We've done some trial strikes here. We've done 2 rounds of trial strikes in Philadelphia, and we're analyzing and testing the samples that we made for a variety of things. For instance, the metal hardness, the ductility. Does the metal, when you stamp it, does the metal go fill all the voids and all the dies? And what kind of press tonnage does that result in? What are the costs for that? What does the various material, how does it stand up over time? Does it have the right wear characteristics, the right corrosion characteristics? What happens when the sweaty palm gets on it and stays on it, and how long does it last and stay the same color? So all those various characteristics, those are the things we're looking at right now. We are well along on the way to presenting our report to Congress. We have till December. We are right now preparing that report. That report then has to go get vetted through the Secretary of Treasury's office. The law actually says the Secretary of the Treasury shall perform research and development. We're the ones who are going to do it, but then he gets to see what we do. And so then we'll be submitting that report up probably after the Labor Day period, and then it'll get vetted and go over to Congress on time in December. So that's our update on research and development.
Just describe that.
That's an excellent suggestion, and for those who didn't hear it, we're doing these trial strikes here in Philadelphia, and could those trial strikes be preserved at the Smithsonian Institution? I think that's an obvious request, and just so everybody knows, every coin that we make, we send one of them to the Smithsonian every year, so that there is that permanent record, and the permanent record of these trial strikes is an excellent idea, and we're going to pursue that. So the question is, has the Mint ever considered issuing double thickness type coins? And I'm relatively new to the Mint, having joined in late 2008, and there's been some discussion about thickness and diameters and what are the right ratios of diameter to thickness, and where does the coin out best. And we were into the nitty-gritty on that with the 5-ounce, 3-inch coin. The law said that there shall be 5 ounces of silver, and it will be 3 inches in diameter. That made for a much thinner coin than people were expecting, and it's because that ratio of thickness to diameter were off. We are really restricted. Congress tells us what the coins will look like and what their dimensions will be, what their compositions will be. And so for us to go create a coin is really not in our business model. What Congress prescribes is what we will then go manufacture. And there's some detail on thickness and diameters that embellish that a little bit. So.
One reason I said that is similar form like this about 10 years ago. I suggested the coin that produced Eagle coin that produced a couple years ago. It's too bad you didn't happen. I said I agree with the outlook, but it didn't happen. But there's a coin a couple years ago, the gold coin. I think the excellent idea about how you do the same thing in Super Eagle. Something is the future. Realize that the minting process But I think there's market potential in this man. Think about it.
I'm not sure I heard all that about the double eagle, but if I can just come back here, I know you guys are trying to get me on video, but
About 10 years ago, Silver Type Form had suggested that, and I'm sure that was, I'm not the originator of that, I'm sure it was suggested by someone else. Now there's other mints who are producing the double thickness Scott coins, Earth Mint, for example, and French Mint has also did that. I think there's profit potential, and I think there's a collector demand for those type of coins. Collector type coins, maybe maybe it might be the 50th anniversary of the Silver Eagle. I think there's some potential in the future for that.
yeah, that's an interesting idea. We can manufacture the same coins that they can. If they can do it, we can do it. And so now, but we have to wait for Congress to pass the laws that tell us that we can make that coin. So
The suggestion you go to Congress, back and forth between you two.
very good. Other comments, questions? Yes, ma'am. I think I know what this one's about.
I already spoke to Mr. Peterson this morning. I actually have been having problems trying to get a good set of the presidential coins, and some of them came with spots in it, and it's just driving me crazy to keep sending them back all the time. What I wanted to know was, what is your quality control like in San Francisco? And I can see now that there's so many other issues to deal with, like, maybe you need to hire a steel wall, you know, how she's picking out the chocolates on the side. No, I mean, seriously, I'd be happier if I didn't have to keep reordering them. Do you have an estimate of how many people handle quality control here?
Your question is a very good question. It's a timely question. When I took over as the head of manufacturing and went to all our factories, our inspection, our quality system was really based on look at the final product and with magnifying glasses and see if the product met standard. And so you would invest all this time manufacturing up to the finished goods point, and then you'd look at it. And I'm a manufacturing guy, and that's not how you do it. You design your processes, and you have very tight tolerances on all the processes every step along the way, including what happens back at the supplier of the raw materials. And then as the product goes through its various processes, you have confidence at the end of the production process, when you do take a magnifying glass to it, that it's a flawless product. And so we started a journey towards that Lean Six Sigma 5S quality type process when I was the head of manufacturing. And what that meant was we were going to have a new director of quality. That person has been hired. We were going to have 2 people reporting to her, one focusing on process quality in the mints and then supplier quality. We're about ready to close on that. Then each mint would have quality engineers we were under-engineered. We didn't have enough manufacturing engineers in each one of our factories to fix the issues that you're talking about. So we've hired 2 quality engineers at each factory to dive into that under the leadership of this director of quality. And her name is Stacy, and she's just awesome. And she gets it, and she gets it. And we're not there yet, but we've identified the need to get there, and we're doing things every day to get us farther down that path. Here's the new set. Okay. So this is what we are going on sale with today. And again, as I mentioned this morning at the opening ceremony, this is to commemorate some anniversaries between the United States Mint. My bureau is 220 years old this year. Our sister bureau, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, is 150 years old. And so what this product has in it is our Silver Eagle proof coin, minted in San Francisco. Come take a look at it. And then a $5 note from the Federal Reserve, or from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And this seal over here has San Francisco and the serial number of the bill is the first three numbers start out 150. And we're limited, based on that serial number, there are only 100,000 notes that have that 150. And so the maximum that we're going to be able to do on this would be 100,000. Right now, we're going to manufacture 50,000 is our initial run. Anyway, a great product, and we have them over available at the Mint booth, and I'd be happy to sign any for you if you'd like me to. Thanks for bringing that, Debbie. Sure.
You said you're from manufacturing. Where did you come from before you were at the Mint?
My background, the question is, I'm from manufacturing. What's my background? I went to the United States Naval Academy, did mechanical engineering there, spent 11 years on nuclear submarines, driving them around the ocean, then left the Navy in 1992, went to a mining company, which was based out in, headquartered actually in New York. But my position was out in Salt Lake City, Utah. And the mining industry experience that I had there for 4 years really has come back to help me a lot with this whole R&D thing and metals and that sort of thing. So that's been a great experience. Then I have 11 years experience with General Electric, manufacturing medical x-ray machines.
That's where you got the Six Sigma.
Right. I can show you my tattoos.
I'm with DuPont. I gotta say, I got DuPont Six Sigma.
There you go. So, and then Then I left GE in 2008, went to the Mint, and I was the head of manufacturing at the Mint until February of last year, and then deputy director, acting director last year. Come on, the mid coin collectors are not a bashful crowd. Sure.
Can you give us any spoilers on what's going to be in that report to Congress as far as different makeups?
We've been asked that several times. The question is, what spoiler, what pre-messaging can I do on the report to Congress? It would be bad form for me to do that and get ahead of whatever we're going to tell the Secretary of Treasury, and then it also has to go to OMB because it's a big administration, and then it goes to Congress, and we really should let the process go the way it's meant to go.
Was any consideration given to non-metallic things like carbon fiber or something like that?
Excellent question. The question is, was any consideration given to non-metallics in this research and development effort? And the answer is no, because the law specifically required that we focus only on metallic compositions. And so you look at the periodic table of the elements, and half the things on the periodic table are metals. Half of those metals are radioactive. The other half are unobtainable in sufficient quantities, and you rapidly boil down to aluminum, iron or steel, zinc, and lead. And we're not going to make coins out of lead, and so you're left with the three metals, and then all the alloys and plating thereof. And so that's really where the research has been focused. Oh, that got some questions going.
On the American Buffalo Gold Program,
Yes.
we had fractionals a number of years ago.
Yes.
What do you see as the future? What can you tell us about that program and the pure gold?
The questions on the 24 karat Buffalo program, and are fractionals still in the equation? And really, not right now. Is the short answer to the question. Is with West Point going so great on silver and the other gold coins that they're making, and then all the numismatic coins that they're making, and the low demand for fractionals, we said this isn't really the way we want to spend our press capacity time, and we could bring, the goal was bring more gold ounces to market. And I understand that raised the price as the price of gold went up, but and therefore the fractionals become more attractive to people and more accessible to people based on their price. But we really weren't selling enough to justify continuing.
I realize this was convention decision that obviously neighbors to the north have been consent. Again, the convention decision that the neighbors to the north have eliminated the Canadian cent. What do you think the future is of the United States cent?
I totally missed that question. My hearing aids are...
What do you think is the future of the United States cent?
The penny.
Oh, the penny. Oh, the
What
penny.
is cent?
Okay.
The United States never is the penny. The cent.
Okay. The future of the penny. Consent. We talked about it. And our annual report shows that for the last 5 years, it's cost us more to make the penny than we received from the Federal Reserve. And our research and development is designed to, lower the cost of all our denominations, and so we're working on that. For me to hypothesize or conjecture what the future of the cent might be is not appropriate for me in this forum.